Okay, so welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something kind of fundamental. It's how to build a positive lifestyle. And I think most importantly, how to make those positive changes actually stick.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I'm really excited about this one because we've got a really interesting resource to kind of guide us through all this.
For sure.
And it's a YouTube podcast script called The Positive Lifestyle Blueprint.
Catchy title.
It is. So we're going to be using that as our kind of jumping off point.
Okay.
And think of this deep dive as a shortcut to all those like key ideas of stuff that can really like shift your perspective and really move you towards a happier, healthier, more fulfilling life. So
Absolutely.
that's the mission here. And we're going to pull out all the practical steps from that YouTube script so you can actually start making changes right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've gone through the Positive Lifestyle Blueprint, and we've pulled out some of the core principles that we think are going to be most helpful for our listeners.
Yeah.
So we want to give everyone listening like a clear understanding of what makes a positive lifestyle actually work
Yeah.
without getting too bogged down in all the details.
Right.
It's about, just understanding those essential elements
Yeah.
and then being able to start using them right away.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. So let's jump straight into it.
Okay.
And actually, before we even begin, I want to ask you, the listener, like a quick question.
Okay.
How often do you notice yourself like focusing on what's not going right or, just like the negative aspects of a situation?
Right.
It's pretty common. It's like a human thing, right?
Definitely. I think we all do it.
Yeah, we all do it. So, but this blueprint we've been looking at, it really emphasizes the importance of mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's the bedrock of it all, cultivating a positive mindset. And it uses this really great analogy of thinking about your mindset like a muscle.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it is. It's cool. So what do you think about that analogy?
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense because, just like if you go to the gym and you work out a muscle,
Yeah.
it gets stronger, right?
Right.
And so if we think about our mindset in the same way, if we regularly focus on the positive thoughts, we can actually train our brains
Okay.
to be more inclined towards positive thoughts.
Wow. So we can actually rewire our brains
As a sense.
to be more positive.
The script actually mentions some research about this that shows practices like gratitude,
Okay.
reframing challenges, and connecting with positive people. All these things can actually lead to physical changes in the brain.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
So it's not just about like fleeting good feelings. These practices can really change how your brain processes information.
Right.
It's like rewiring it to be more attuned to the positive.
So like it's almost like we're creating like a positive feedback loop in our brains.
Exactly. Yeah, the more you practice positivity, the more your brain becomes wired for it.
I love that. Okay, so this idea of like training our brains towards positivity is super powerful. But where do we even begin?
Right. Well, the blueprint actually offers a really simple first step.
Okay, tell me.
They suggest taking just 2 minutes each morning to write down 3 things you're grateful for.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah, it's really simple.
I can do that?
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Like the sunshine, the fact you have a warm cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Or even just like a nice text message you receive from someone.
Yeah. Or like your pet, like waking up with you.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
anything that brings a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
What I really like about this practice is that it's so accessible. It doesn't require a huge time commitment or a ton of effort. But the blueprint suggests that this small, consistent habit
Yeah.
can have a ripple effect on how you see your whole day and even your life in general.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about mindset. Now let's move on to something else that's really important.
Okay.
And that's the connection between how we live our lives and how we think. The Positive Lifestyle Blueprint really highlights this interplay between our physical well-being and our mental state.
Yeah, it emphasizes that what we do with our bodies directly impacts our minds.
And it even mentions that old saying, you are what you eat, but it kind of takes it a step further.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, our food choices aren't just about physical health.
Right.
They really influence our energy levels, our mood, and ultimately our ability to stay positive.
Right. Makes sense.
So the blueprint encourages us to focus on eating whole, nutrient-rich foods,
Like what?
like colorful fruits and vegetables, lean protein sources, and healthy fats.
Okay.
Those are all great for brain function. And they also make a really important point about hydration.
Oh, yeah. Water.
Yeah, we often forget about that. But it's crucial for clear thinking and mood balance.
Yeah, totally. And it's not just about what we put into our bodies, right?
No, definitely not.
It's also about how we move our bodies.
Absolutely.
The blueprint talks about physical activity as a way to release endorphins.
Yeah, those feel-good chemicals.
Right, and those can naturally boost our mood.
And the best part is you don't need to do hours of intense exercise.
Right.
Even short bursts of activity can make a difference.
I can attest to that. Like sometimes I just go for a quick walk outside and it totally shifts my perspective.
Yeah,
Like even for like 5–10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm curious, what's one small way you think you could add a little bit more movement into your daily routine?
That's a good question. I guess maybe like taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
That's a good one.
Or like parking farther away from the store so I have to walk a bit more.
Yeah, those are great ideas.
Oh.
The blueprint also mentions things like trying a short yoga video or even just dancing around your living room for a few minutes.
Yeah. Love it.
It's about finding something you enjoy and making it a consistent part of your routine.
Right. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about mindset. We've talked about the connection between our bodies and our minds. Now let's shift gears and talk about our environment. Because the positive lifestyle blueprint really emphasizes how much our environment influences our mindset.
Yeah, it makes a strong point that if we're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's much harder to stay positive ourselves.
Makes sense.
It's like swimming upstream.
It's exhausting, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to remember that our environment isn't just our physical space.
What else is it?
It's also our mental space.
Oh.
So the blueprint gives us tips for improving both.
So like what are some of the tips?
Well, for our physical environment, it's just decluttering.
Okay.
Getting rid of things that don't serve us or bring us joy.
Yeah, like that junk drawer we all have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for our mental environment, they recommend letting go of unnecessary commitments.
Oh, yeah. Overcommitting. That's a big one.
Yeah. And also being mindful of negative self-talk.
Okay.
Those thoughts that can really weigh us down.
So it's not just about like taking away the negative stuff, right?
No, definitely not.
It's also about proactively creating a positive space around us.
Exactly. The blueprint talks about intentionally filling our homes with things that uplift us.
Okay.
Like plants-inspiring quotes or photos of loved ones.
Yeah, I love having pictures of my family and friends around my house.
Me too. It's a great way to bring in positive energy.
It is, and it's like a visual reminder of the people who love and support us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of people, the blueprint also touches on the importance of our social connections.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
It makes a distinction between relationships that energize us and those that drain us.
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
And it recommends prioritizing time with people who encourage our growth and reinforce our self-worth.
I love that it's like surrounding yourself with your own personal cheer squad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Choose your team wisely.
Okay, so we've covered mindset, our physical and mental well-being, and our environment. Now let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial but often gets neglected.
What's that?
Self-care.
Oh, yes. Self-care is so important.
It is, and the positive lifestyle blueprint reframes self-care in a way that I think is really helpful.
Okay, how so?
Well, it presents self-care not as a luxury or something indulgent,
Yeah.
but as a necessity for our overall well-being.
Right. It's essential.
Exactly. And the script emphasizes that the purpose of self-care is to help us function at our best.
Makes sense.
Right. And it also does a great job of breaking down this myth that self-care has to be this big, elaborate thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get intimidated by the idea of self-care.
Me too. It's like they think they need to go on a spa day or something.
Right.
But the blueprint highlights that self-care can be those small intentional things that we do throughout the day.
Yeah, like what kind of things?
Well, like setting boundaries to protect our energy.
Oh, yeah. Boundaries are so important.
They are. And
Yeah.
also learning to say no to things that we don't have the time or energy for.
That's a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah. And also making time for activities that help us recharge. Like reading meditation, spending time in nature.
All great examples.
Yeah. And you know, the script includes a really powerful reminder about self-care. It says, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Oh, I love that quote.
It's so true. And to make this really practical for our listeners, the blueprint offers a challenge.
Okay, I like a good challenge.
Yeah, so think of one way that you can practice self-care in the coming week.
I love that it's just about taking that first step, no matter how small.
Exactly. Okay, so as we start wrapping up our deep dive into the positive lifestyle blueprint,
Okay.
I think it's important to emphasize that building a positive lifestyle isn't about achieving some perfect state of happiness.
Yeah, it's not about being happy all the time.
Right. It's about growth. It's about progress. It's a journey.
Exactly. And the blueprint really highlights the cumulative effect of those small, consistent actions that we take over time.
It's like building momentum, right?
Yeah, it's like compound interest for your well-being.
I love that analogy. And the blueprint also encourages us to be patient with ourselves throughout this process.
Right. It's not a race.
Exactly. And just to keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time,
Every little bit counts.
it really does. So this brings us to our final thought for you to ponder.
Okay, I'm ready.
As you go about your day, think about all the elements we've talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset, your physical and mental well-being, your environment, and your self-care practices.
Okay.
Which of these areas feels like the most important to you right now, or maybe the area that you need to focus on the most?
Right.
And think about that area as a potential starting point for your own personal growth journey.
Great advice.
So that's it for our deep dive into the Positive Lifestyle Blueprint.
That was a good one.
It was. I hope you found it helpful and inspiring.
Me too.
And remember, you have the power to create a more positive and fulfilling life for yourself.
Absolutely.
One step at a time.
You got this.
You got it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.